Excited for a lot of reasons about this group that's coming back. The biggest reason is that there are a lot of guys coming back. There's a little bit of disappointment from a group that, we felt like we were a little bit average last year. Kind of boom or bust at times, where we did a lot of things special and a few things really poorly. And the result was that we gave up too many big plays and played too inconsistently. The great thing about when you return guys is that those guys that we're bringing back all made those mistakes. We're not coaching new guys at those positions. So we got some returners that are coming back and know that they didn't reach the bar that we set for ourselves here a couple years ago when we took this job on defense. And since that USC game ended, they've been driven by themselves. We've done a great job of encouraging that as coaches and as a program, but our players have really been the ones driving it. And so they've worked really hard in the offseason to get ready to go for this camp. And we've added a couple of names on that depth chart that I think can create some competition and further drive our goal to have the best unit in the league. I think we have the potential to have a special unit. There's a lot of things we got to get shored up over the next 4 weeks and then into the season, but I'm really excited about this group. Fun guys to coach, 100% bought in to our toughness and our physicality and our tempo of play. And the best thing about them is right now they have a chip on their shoulder. And that's a dangerous thing, I think, for a Fresno State football team that's won 2 championships, is that our defense has a chip on their shoulder. After winning 2 championships, they're coming in and they're angry. And I think that's really good. So hairy as it was a year ago to be coming in and starting 2 first-timers at inside linebacker, and really Ederain wasn't starting to start the year last year, and so there was a lot of question marks at those positions a year ago. Our first group of guys are as solid as I think we can hope for. Now there is some concern with some backups there because we lost with Jeremiah Toma and Patrick Sua, 2 guys that I think could probably start at a lot of places in this league. And so there was a little bit of a comfort zone that I had as an inside linebacker coach there, that it was going to be seamless moving from one guy to the next. I really like our first 4, but we got to grow some depth behind them. The great thing about Duran, there's a lot of great things about Duran, but Duran's really been leading since about halfway through our first year. And Duran he's going to discard this story, but our first year in the San Diego State game, we were ready to can Duran. I was ready to get rid of him. Not because he didn't have great ability, because he wasn't physical. He wasn't finishing plays the way that we expect a safety to do in this defense. And we challenged him. And it was not a friendly conversation, as you can imagine. When you start talking about a kid being physical in the game of football and you're questioning his physicality, that's a pretty serious conversation. And where he's gone from there till now, he's led since then, and he led as the second half of that year. He's led as a junior. And so the leadership aspects have been there for a long time. My expectations for him are the same expectations I'm sure he has for himself, to make sure that every play that he puts on film is what represents him best. And that's the thing, consistency, right? If he's consistently Duran Smith and our defense is consistently doing what we do, I think we're going to be pretty special. I think Duran's got the ability to be as special as anyone. He's a pretty good player. Learned they're really fast. I learned they can recruit at USC pretty well. They spend $1 million on snacks. I've learned a lot of things, that it is what it is. I mean, they're going to be a really talented football team. Coach Sark does a really good job with that offense. They've got a defensive coordinator that's pretty innovative. We'll have our hands full in that game. But, the thing that we have that maybe they don't is that our guys didn't get recruited to go there. And so we'll go into that game with a little bit of chip on our shoulder, and where they're trying to establish an identity. I think we know who we are as a program. We're not going to go in and see, hey, do these players have confidence in us as coaches? Do they believe in the mojo that we're selling? Our guys have already bought it. We've won 2 league championships with our staff. Our players have done that. They're trying to do that there. So that's a benefit for us in that game. Now, they got some really good dudes now. They got some guys, and it's the Coliseum and all that stuff. So we got our hands full with that. But there's a little bit you can take. There is. And the biggest thing you can take forward is that they beat us, and we were stung. And so we've had to live with that for a year with the same group of guys. I think that helps. That's a good driving force. That's not going to cover anybody. It's not going to tackle anybody. But it'll be there. It's underneath the skin the whole time this offseason. A little bit of weight. Todd Hunt's gotten bigger. Nate Madsen, 285 pounds and a little bit more agile. And then Gabe Newman. So, yeah, it's a little different front. Not quite as seasoned, but a little bit different. It'll let us change a little bit schematically with how we move them around. It's going to take a couple weeks for our linebackers to fit off these guys a little different, because our linebackers play off those guys in front. So it'll take a week or so for us to get used to playing with each other. But it's a pretty good group. The thing that you lose that hurts is that Nico and Andy, they were everyday guys. They earned everything they got. And you replace them with, Todd Hunt's been here, so I'm not going to put Todd in there. I think Todd is ready to replace him. But Nate Madsen and Gabe Newman have not been here. So they've got to understand that the standard that was set forth by those other guys, we can't afford to have drop-off. There just can't be that. We're not going to accept it. We're not going to accept a drop-off of effort and physicality. You might not run or be as strong as those guys, but your attitude is going to be the same. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see our front. That'll be interesting. I think the offense is always the key. I think if Dave Schramm does a good job, we'll win. I mean, I think it comes down to Dave. And I'm kidding you. I love that guy. It's a team. So whether you're winning the game 53-52 and they got to get a 2-point conversion to win, or whether you're winning the game 53-52 and you got to stop them for a 2-point conversion to win, we're going to do whatever we got to do as a team to win. And if he's got to bail us out and score 50 and we got to hold him to 49, we're going to do it. And if we got to try to hold him to 3, then we're going to do it. I mean, if we got to steal a possession on special teams, that's Coach DeRuiter set that as our team, and that's who we are. We're real comfortable having a really good offense and having a really good defense. And at times it's going to be bumpy on one side or the other, maybe both. But we're going to win the game. So whatever's got to happen, we're going to do it. I'm not concerned about being an offensive football team or defensive football team. Living in the shadow of a Broyles Award nominee like Dave Schramm last year was hard, but it was a good thing.